niggas. Certified One West hitters. Go.
One question. I'm Sean Sell, man. And let me tell you something. We different over here. We big steppers. Let's go.
Go get up. Big step up. All body One West rapper. Brotherhood off of my king, my niggas. Certified One West hitters. Go get up. Big step up. All body One West rapper. Brotherhood off of my king, my niggas. Certified One West hitters. Yo, what you say? No, we don't play you out your mind. Watch what you say, that type of shit could get your line. And if you search, then let me tell you what you'll find. The city is mine. Just a month, people can't pick of the lyrics. Now my name ring bells when you talking big nice nigga, but only no trash with my brother. Saying what your nigga, I pull out the river, go get it. You get off of the shitter. Can't put you in the spot like you niggas a wither. Keep an eye open around for any nigga that's slither. Cause ain't no sunshine here like real withers. You know about this life I live. How you gonna talk to me like I ain't lose no bread? Like I ain't lose no crib, ain't lose no kid, ain't sleep in my car, I ain't lose no gig. Shit, I never gave an order, I ain't give, and I ain't never take a fucking thing that I would give. Always kept it a bill, homie, I ain't fit. And if I had to go sipping, I just do my bid. Yo, my whole team full of steel beats you can't fold. Your whole circle full of some swags you can't roll. That's why we always take it to levels you can't go. Talk shit, but you can see where these hands go. If it's a kill like Cyclops, these niggas wanna see me in pine box. No, not on my watch. Got a better chance of rewind clocks when you put a nigga in time stop, bitch. Go get up, big step up. All body One West rapper. Brotherhood off of my king, my niggas. Certified One West hitters, bro. Go get up, big step up. All body One West rapper. Brotherhood off of my king, my niggas. Certified One West hitters, bro.
This flow is a war winning. Torment, I'm on the death, I'm poor with them. Trashing, I win my way with a has-been. Ice cold with the flow, I'm Alaskan. You was in the fucking jungle with a casket. I be with the lions, they my friends, turtle basket. And I up, they'll never find a body. Type strike tracks and feel it like Joe Exotic. I don't know what it is, but I know I got it. Feeling like a line so surgical with the shotty. All you see is skull and bones, Illuminati. Probably I be the illest nigga to do it. I just talk shit on the beat and they call it music. I just come provide you with heat, remaining clueless. You ain't never been in the street with all the shooters. I was sipping yak with rioters and looters. Gotta keep my boots laid, shoot straight, run up on you with the loose aim in a screw face. It's bad out here, my style effortless. 2 hands up in the Ruger, so affectionate. Lot of suckers on one more, I'm respecting it. Bigger stepper, catch a plate, the hood starving. Cause they got beards who trade like James Harden. Straight from NY to Philly, we still mobbing.
Go get up, big step up. All body One West rapper. Brotherhood off of my king, my niggas. Certified One West hitters, bro. Go get up, big step up. All body One West rapper. Brotherhood off of my king, my niggas. Certified One West hitters, bro. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Y'all ain't ready yet, man. Here it comes right now. Prepare yourself. Here comes the boom. Here comes the boom. Look who just stepped in the room. Got soldiers in every direction. As long as they stepping in tone. I feel it all play with the groove. Much of every line falls to the door. Lord, know I'm ready, and I know that you know that hurt not be deadly, but I am fulfilled. These niggas talking on the home. That's a spot you'll be moving soon, and you'll be leaving shortly. Still walking with the niggas that they still in false. Got a whole lot of sin, I can't get it off. Plus I'm looking like I got a blue tipping on me. Team on punch, bitch, I'm at your boy. See, I do these niggas like to do that to the dog. So that's why I bought a Glock to the scupper ball. Now that I'm done, I just really into it pretty much. That brotherhood and what you gotta keep it in the club. If it ain't my push, nigga, huh? I don't wanna hear it, keep your tone down. Had a couple conversations, but it's on down. So you can kill the speculation, bitch, I'm blown down. And if you want a conversation, so it's on down. What he said, I ain't hear about the tone down. Can't walk this It's a no now. I'm 24. I'm on another level with it. And if you never listen to it, then you never get it down. I'm a revolution. Better be careful if you never keep on stepping in my bell. Cause it ain't no pain. It ain't no lane. I'm playing to the metal with his hair. Got it on the ground. I just began to a pretty much. Your brotherhood and what you gotta keep it in the cut. No fears with my name, cause I think I got a crush. And she knows that I got the six shit inside me. But you know I shoot the cat for the 7 riding. Got the job through the buttons like you got it riding. I'm a race for the track like a wicked body. Got it on the dust. I just began to it pretty much. Your brotherhood and what you gotta keep it in the cut. Gotta keep it with me, it's a lot. Got it on the dust. I just began to it pretty much. And your brotherhood and what you gotta keep it in the cut. If it ain't more west, nigga, hot. You heard what he said. If it won't west, nigga, hot. Watch your goddamn mouth. We ain't the same. We got the same. Won't never be the same. We react different. We think different. And gonna keep on pushing this truth until your house shall return, sucker. And y'all niggas out there, y'all new war. Y'all can never be us. 'Cause we hot. Permanent hot. Let's get. Someone who's a crip or blood or a drug addict in the street, they don't know anything about the Bible or God. They're cold. Then it's us. In the UPK, we are what? Hot. That's us. Hot, 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 hot. Straight out of one breath. Ooh, I'm too hot. My grandma keep on telling me I need to cool out. Quick to pull the strings out, pull the two locks. We are home of the truth. My nigga keep getting hot, 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 hot. How many fake groups must get dissed before they really figure out who the Lord is with? I'm about to burn Babylon with these bars of spit. Niggas swear they won't beef, well let's start some shit. I roll with warriors who sports and sticks, so keep stepping. Without a mind shit, this brotherhood is a weapon. These nations we protected, air for Armageddon. Told them niggas no respect, but these other niggas are threatening. Yeah, I ain't take the heat. Nigga, get out the kitchen. Ain't nothing these niggas saying you can find in the scriptures. They still not break down and try to convert a whip or try to the Lord's word to be telling over the strip. We can't afford to be playing around with the Lord. It's like God faith with baptism on one accord. If you ain't a high baby, you might as well hit the more. My niggas gon' stand firm while you niggas fall on the floor. Man, I don't want that. Ooh, I'm too hot. My grandma keep on telling me I need to cool out. Quick to pull the switch out, pull the tool out. See the home of the truth. My niggas ain't getting that. HOTT, what that mean? Gotta spell it out. Home of the truth. Got the truth. Without a doubt, niggas getting good when you breathe. Wait, that's the clock. What the priest is saying, I'm so heavy. Only break it down. We in your top. Roots is on the ground. All year round. When the summer spirit falling, prophesying to the clouds and crying out. I say your ass at home. Cause life is all about water. Make me go blast the chrome and then go to each his own. Nah, to each his own. We taking over the world, bringing the profits home. And I that any nigga think you can stand in my way. You niggas is scared. You niggas purple panties. You great. Wearing your bricks on socks on the block. Talking to cops. Trying to make it arrest. If you want us, we ain't calling you out. That's why no affiliation. We don't fuck with you out. Because and you know this, man. If it ain't you, be then it's bogus, man. Set a blade to the string with promise I took away. Be amazed with the scene for proper speed. And I think we set a fire to them lies and hope. They over the eye, no niggas will see the truth. And if it's written on the blind, they peeping out to see. The real priests who check the lies. Command the general, I'm at the sun that's out here to teach. You niggas done drop your sword like you did like preachers. Looking for another way around and they got no discipline. Take the work, they no warriors in Southeast Michigan. We are winning too many visiting no line. You ain't my bone up my bone, cause you ain't got no spine. You weak in the mind, your vision is no feel with your rhyme. You can keep it cause they don't count, don't hold that line. You out here live by individuals, practicing wicked rituals. And you ain't a high boy cause they falling when they get you do. Straight out of one west, ooh, I'm too hot. My grandma keep on telling me I need to cool out. Quick to pull the switch out, pull the tool out. Yeah, home of the truth, my niggas ain't getting hot, 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 ain't a hot boy, hot, 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 ain't a hot boy, hot, hot. man. Admit it, man. How? So they called me, tell me she's sick. I say, I wonder why. I've been running it up and giving it shit. I think she switches out. They want me to fail, leave me to hell. I keep my head to the sky. Bitch, don't kill me, never let you kill the style. On this shit till I die. I stay on that shit till I die. Yeah, I on this shit till I die. Been waiting too long now, it's my time. I ain't letting nothing slide. Yeah, I'm on that shit till I die. I stay on that shit till I die. Hey, get down, let me take it down. I'm on that shit till I die. I'm just in the man. I'm just bragging. I can catch y'all 2 weeks. Been fly out in Vegas, kick on my feet, my bitch like mission complete. Niggas ain't real and sweet. They like a kiss on the cheek. Ain't going for shit. I'm loaded and knocking that shit on repeat. The speed of a check on my brothers tomorrow. We pay the city, man. I'm dropping hits, pull up his leads. I should do a sinner, man. No nigga, I've been a threat, but you do that. Trying to catch how you do that. I just bounced back for the third time. She like, damn, man, how you do that? I'm from the rap, I wonder. Y'all ain't ready yet, man. Here it comes. We're gonna stick with the bars. We're gonna stick to the essence. We're universal. Let's go to Chi-Town. Yo, down, what's up? In my mind, I wanna find the sunny side. But misery, I've seen this movie 100 times. I can't forget it, it's ever present, dream of perfection. And every lesson, I guess, is just a painful reflection. Who would've known that tragedy was a life sentence? Painful memories tapping into my five senses. I feel the chills, I hear the stars, I see the lights. I smell the smoke, I taste the sour, a bit of life. I am my Uncle Chris, and if we can get it right, I'm not even knowing the way, but say some good advice. I didn't listen, had different interests, some money vision. Until my mother got sentenced to do the day in prison. I smell the stench of the waiting room, a waiting fume. I'm saying really this killing just ain't the way to move. I hear the voice of my teacher telling me staying tuned. I feel like I hated County more than I hated school. The hospital with jail couldn't stomach the smell. I'm finna change real niggas the ones you can tell. Gangs take more all the work if you want to sell. The story of your house shut from the niggas from hell. In my mind, I wanna find the sunny side, but misery, I've seen this movie 100 times. I can't forget it, it's ever present, dream of perfection. And every lesson, I guess, is just a painful reflection. In my mind, I wanna find the sunny side, but misery, I've seen this movie 100 times. I can't forget it, it's ever present, dream of perfection. And every lesson, I guess, is just a painful reflection. No matter how many years pass, I feel the pain. My vivid memories playing on repeat in my brain. It's like a real life movie, truly an evil thing. I'm seeing scenes of my people I never see again. My brother May got out of prison, I went to get him. Since 17, I've been in the system, this I ain't living. Spent so many years, and it really isn't. So many pressure with that, like staying out the gate. I mean, my nigga got shot, stabbed, we told Troy. Raising bass in the face, they try to steal his gold. I try to think of some different reasons to keep him close. Instead of hating these bitches, wishing they leave him home. And he said he ain't going back, heard that before. One hit of that package, he going back for more. But the salary was right, said he'll never go. Front seat of his truck, down on my overdose. In my mind, I wanna find the sunny side, but misery, I've seen this movie 100 times. I can't forget it, it's ever present, dream of perfection. And every lesson, I guess, is just a painful reflection. In my mind, I wanna find the sunny side, but misery, I've seen this movie 100 times. I can't forget it, it's ever present, dream of perfection. And every lesson, I guess, is just a painful reflection. That pain hit deep, man. UBK, once again, 1 West, 125th Street, man. All we know is pain, man. All we know is making it work. Going to war. From Chi-Town to New York to California, we outside all the time, man. Y'all understand our pain. We unintended project kids. You may not relate. We gotta keep on warring, keep on fighting, keep on going. Because we know where we came from. And we know where we going. 1 West, y'all. It's UPK to the death. We ain't never stopping. Always going. Y'all niggas better catch up. Bad news. a second, man. Let's take it down to Texas real quick, man. One West for you in the first. Let's talk to him.
When I roll around my city, all I see is our sin. The property of God that we was raised in. You see, you hear this condition is still made by men. The choices that we make, that's by sin. When I roll around my city, all I see is our sin. The property of God that we was raised in. You see, you hear this condition is still made by men. The choices that we make, that's by sin. In this nation, my skin is my sin against society. Laws made because they did the greatness inside. We cracking on the corner, get seen like grind out here. We run from the cops like track meets the irony. Cause every nigga that living straight out the hood, if we get where we come from when it's all good. $1 million slave, but survive remorse, that's textbook. Looks to buy the clock, inspire us to work hard for minimum wage. To shine like you won't sit a page. Welcome to the rat race. Now you will put your look down, look and keep your pace. These young boys is Lazarus, the man in the mirror looking you in the face. Reap what you sow, the root of growth. From that shit, that's how we know. Fear from cold, this is a triangle. Pass the time like the rock can't let it go. You either build or destroy, make your choice. I roll around the city. All I see is our sin. The pocket, the environment we was raised in. You see, you hear this condition is still made by men. The choices that we make, that's by sin. When I roll around my city, all I see is our sin. The pocket, the environment we was raised in. You see, you hear this condition is still made by men. The choices that we make, that's by sin. Yeah. All these atrocities in my assassinations into my sleep, but hope is a limited commodity. Rats in the race of opportunity with success rates is a low probability. I feel like through the prison before we even leave elementary. And Christianity got our people retarded spiritually. I mean, seriously. You're gonna be in heaven with those that committed genocide on your ancestry. I'm ready to be in hell with least you know your enemy. Make it make sense to me. But you got active in your blood and celebrate Thanksgiving. Working like a Hebrew slave and roll in. Train the simple possibility that you is you. Simply in reality and call you anti-Semitic, the viscosity of a corporate copy and shame originality. The kingdom of heaven is put in, and it's all the earth that children God in. Around my city, all I see is our sin. The pocket, the environment we was raised in. You see, you hear this conviction is still made by men. The choices that we make, that's by sin. When I roll around my city, all I see is our sin. The pocket, the environment we was raised in. You see, hear this conviction is still made by men. The choices that we make, that's by sin. Yeah. You been wicked to the most high children, man. You been ready to stop them to the 12 tribes of Israel. Let me tell you something, black man. You gotta put on your strength now, man. Put back on your strength at night, black man, because your day is coming. Your day is coming because the Lord is going to bring judgment on this earth. The Lord wants black men to be able to be men again. The Lord wants to stop the white man from killing our babies in the abortion clinics. The Lord wants us to get off the drugs and raise our families back up to be the men and women of the Lord. But there's something in the middle of us right now. What is that? That Christian church, man. Get with me, brother. Joel, the 3rd chapter, first verse, read it loud. Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Yeah, go ahead. Prepare war. Do what? Prepare war. You know what the Lord said? Declare this among the Gentiles, man. Why? Because it don't look like they're going to war now. It look like they're in control and in power of everything. But for the prophets of the Lord that know exactly what they're going to do, what's going to happen in the earth, we know that it's time to prepare for war.
Clap it up. Give a big round of applause to Commander General Yohana, man. He ended that all real, just right, and that really just upped my spirit before class. But a leader that has shown his strength for a long time now, and to see where the school is now and where it came from, you know, when I go back and look at the history of the ISUPK, it's glorious to see that a leader like that would actually, you know, sustain this long. It's a lot stronger than your Christian pastor and your Muslim imam, believe me. Let me start this off by saying, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah to the brothers, Yahweh Shema Latah Shem Yahweh Shai to the sisters. This is the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Hall, New York, under Commander Jerry Yohana. And since 1969, we've been here trying to wake up the Blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians to their true culture according to the Bible. You understand? I'm here with Officer 500, Ramawan, who holding the class down with me today. Of course, I am Officer 500, Kaziawan. We're gonna just dive right into this. Everybody knows that Mother's Day just passed, so-called Mother's Day, and the Blacks and Hispanics took this holiday and they've made it almost more popular than any other holiday there is. Like literally, you don't know the turmoil that happens if you tell your mom that, you know, you're not going out to eat for breakfast for Mother's Day. Or you don't tell her. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm in the truth. And my mom came and dropped off my son, and of course she brought my granny, and she said, "Come out and speak to everybody." And I know what she expected, but I mean, I've been in the truth for over 2 years now, and she knows that she won't get a happy Mother's Day from me. It hurts her, but sometimes you have to hurt the ones you love for them to understand how much you believe in something that, especially when it comes to this Bible. This Bible has been taught by many people, by many pastors, by many different religions, and the only place that I found that this Bible has been taught correctly is in ISUPK under Commander Jerry Yohana.
That's right.
You understand? If you could, Baba Kashai, I'm gonna start off with Matthews 12 and 46. I'm gonna get there with you too. Well, we got to understand in today's times, there's rarely a woman that's honorable enough to have even a day. There's rarely a woman, because you got to think of something. If you look at the outcome of our kids today, if you look at the outcome of our sons and our daughters, in the irresponsibility of who our families have been left with, you know, because of the government and because how the government has kind of beat down on Black men and made sure we weren't able to lead our households. You see what happens when you allow, and I don't, you know, and this ain't taking nothing away from women. Don't get me wrong. But we also understand there's structure in the household. And if that structure isn't there, then your kids tend to lean too far to the left. You understand? And you know, just a man's presence in the household can alleviate some of the stress that you know mom is giving is getting through her kids. You know, a man being in the household can alleviate some of the stress from her having to pick up her kids every day from daycare. You know, her having to go grocery shopping every day. Her have to do this and her have to do that. You know what I'm saying? She's supposed to be a helpmate, which means she'll help you make your family successful. You understand? And that's the type of honor that we have in our women. And it's throughout the Bible. There has been honorable women like that. You ask something?
If I could, that's heavy what you're bringing out. You just sit here and look at the holiday of Mother's Day, and I'm gonna be honest with you. This Mother's Day might have been the most disgusting holiday I've seen the whole year. I mean, disgusting. It's starting to get almost amazing. It might be up there with Christmas and Thanksgiving now. You just look at the way that our oppressors just hold Mother's Day over the head of especially Black society. If you looked on Facebook yesterday, which I always look because I look for things that I could talk about in class. And it wasn't not one derogatory thing. It wasn't a man getting up there saying, "No, I'm the kid's mama." Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? During Father's Day, that's the number one thing you're gonna see. 27 girls come on Facebook and say, "Happy Father's Day to be." Yesterday, all you saying was Happy Mother's Day to me. Like, and it's so vain and vile now that women don't even. You don't even gotta say Happy Mother's Day to them no more. They get on there and say Happy Mother's Day to themselves.
Right.
They think they so good of a mother that they can claim themselves as to be a happy mother. You know, so it just lets you know how this, just coming on what you were saying, just let you know how disgusting and vain and how the oppressors allow to use just holidays like this, especially Mother's Day, to raise up the woman, and especially in the Black household, because you don't see this in none of the oppressors' household. All Facebook is all sisters.
You know what's so heavy? What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Yesterday, I went on Facebook just to see how many of the oppressors was talking about Happy Mother's Day, and I don't think I saw one. I don't think I saw one. So of course, this holiday was made for Blacks and Hispanics to spend all their money, just like pretty much every other holiday, to spend all your money and all your grocery money and your rent money and all that, because that's what keeps you financially disabled throughout the year. As long as you scatter a holiday throughout the year, Blacks and Hispanics are going to be financially disabled because they're going to spend everything they have to make sure that these holidays are successful. For who? For the kids, for the woman, for a father has failed his family if he don't get his kids Christmas gifts. He's failed his whole family. He feel like he got to walk around with his head tucked in between his legs, because it's a shameful thing to the world if a father don't give his kids Christmas gifts. So let's hit on this scripture, Matthew 12:46, if you got it from me.
It's Matthew chapter 12, verse 46.
Mm-hmm.
While he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brother stood without desiring to speak with him.
So this is Christ. Christ up there, he talking to the people. He's out there doing what we do on every weekend in Isupk. He's out there speaking to the people, letting them know, trying to bring them back to their true culture, trying to bring brotherhood and sisterhood back. And while he was doing that, his mother and his brother stood and was like, "Hey, can we talk to Christ?" I don't know why they would want to do that anyway. Why the brother is out here doing, trying to teach and bring the people together. But go ahead.
Verse 47. Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brother stand without, desiring to speak with thee.
So then somebody came to Christ. One of the disciples came to Christ and said, behold, your mother and your brother, they outside. They outside of the camp and they want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? They desire to talk to you. Go ahead.
Verse 48. But he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother and who are my brother? So
this same brother who came to him and said, your mother and your brother was desiring to talk to you. He said, who is my mother and who is my brother? He questioned this brother who relayed this message back to him. Go ahead.
Verse 49. And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, behold, my mother and my brother.
So he stretched his hands out towards his brothers who was out there on the field with him, who was out there speaking with the people, who was out there in war with him. And like, behold, look, my mother and my brethren. Read.
Verse 50. Verse 50. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother.
He said this. He said, for whoever do my will, those are the ones that's my mother, my brother, my family. This is the thing that a lot of Blacks and Hispanics and Native American Indians don't understand. There's only one way to be a part of this one body of Christ in one of Christ's family, because even his biological mother, his carnal mother, was asking to speak to him and was asking, can he come speak to me? And he stretched forth out his arms and said, these are my brothers and my mothers and my family, the ones who choose to do the work of the Most High like he was doing, who chose to follow Christ. Those were his family. That's how you get an honor as a mother. little do you know, Christ's mother, you know, she never really gave full support of what Christ was doing. Just like any other mother in the world, you know, you fear for your son. You fear for your son to go out there and be a revolutionary. You understand? Believe me, every revolutionary that has ever existed, his mother or his mother figure has told him, you know, don't go out there. They're gonna kill you. I don't want you to go out there and get killed. Because one thing that a mother knows is, in order to change the world, you may have to sacrifice your life. You may have to lay down your own life. And what Christ was just showing was, as long as he had his brothers, he had family around him at all times.
Right.
You understand? Go to Proverbs. Go to Proverbs 11 and 16. I'm gonna show you what type of women that should be honored. Y'all want to honor people on want to honor women on Mother's Day, but I'll show you exactly what type of women that should be honored, and not only honored on one day, they should be honored daily. They should be honored daily, because these type of women are the type of women that raises kids, provides and makes sure that their husband has the support that he needs. And you know what happens to those women? They get treated like diamonds and rubies, man. They get treated like gold, because they ain't sitting over there trying to badmouth their husband and talk back. It's all right to have a disagreement and to sit down and have a responsible disagreement with your husband. But to have a attitude and argue back and forth, that's what created the monsters of today. That's the reason a man can't stand being in the household, you know, you understand, with his wife. You understand? It's rough, because at the end of the day, a lot of men leave the household because they women are monsters. They're dragons. And it is so hard for them to sustain in a household like that, while you're getting beat up by the world, and then have to come home and get beat up at home by the monster at home. There's no rest for a black man or a Hispanic man on earth. Where's his refuge? There is none. But there is women in the ISUPK. There's sisters that are virtuous, and they're deserving of getting honor. And we honor those women all throughout the year. They don't only get one day. They get multiple days. Hell, they get every day. In ISUPK, you got virtuous women in here that get every day to be honored. You understand? Go ahead if you could, Baba Kasha.
Proverbs 11. This is book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
You want to wait till you get there?
No, you're good to go.
A gracious woman retaineth honor,
Mm-hmm.
and a strong man retain riches. Verse 17, the merciful man doeth good to his own soul, but he that is cruel troubleth his own flesh.
Right. A gracious woman, which Slakia. Let me see what I got you at.
16.
Slakia, my bad. Give me that's Proverbs 31 and 10.
I was thinking that. That's what.
Yeah, that was on me. Slakia. Sisters in the ISUPK, man, they are humble sisters. They're kind, you know, and those sisters, you know, I put up against any sister in the world. These sisters in the world don't know how to treat a family. They don't know how to treat a husband. But what these sisters have learned and mastered, they've mastered how to love their husbands. They master how to be kind and get rid of that dragon spirit. You understand? Go ahead.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies.
This says, who can find a virtuous woman? This is a question. Who can find a virtuous woman? This is what we're dealing with today. Like in the world, you struggle to find someone who's virtuous enough that will satisfy, you know, especially a black man who's dealing with the woes of everyday, you know, spiritual warfare. Like, why would a man want to go through everyday war, go through slavery, go through having to drive back and forth on streets that may get them killed by either another black man or the police, and then come home and through all that war he had to deal with, just trying to make money to make sure his family and his house is preserved. He has to come home to someone that makes him feel unappreciated, who makes him feel like he's lower than the dirt. And that structure of household has been what the United States of America have been trying to put on Black and Hispanic families for a long time now. You understand? They've shown and they've proven that their agenda is to take the Black man out of the household, the Hispanic man out of the household, and the only way that your family can survive is if that woman leads that household.
Right.
You understand? And the worst part about it is, I feel like Blacks and Hispanics men, they don't see it. I think that they play the game and then they get caught and trapped up in it, and what they end up doing is being dead or in jail. And then you've lost the war already. Once they put you behind cages, you've lost the war. You understand? We got we got our Hispanic brothers and sisters, dealing and coping with, Hispanic children down on the border in cages, man. How horrible is that? The Bible says, Judah mourning in the gates thereof language. We have no security in the Black and Hispanic neighborhoods. None at all. Our leaders have failed us. Our leaders have supported Planned Parenthood.
That's right.
Our leaders are pro abortion.
Mm-hmm.
Our leaders are. Our leaders have failed us so greatly. And the only leader that I have ever seen in my life that has not failed me is Commanding General Yohana, and that's because he follows Christ. You understand? These brothers in the UPK, these captains, these generals, these officers, and troopers, young men, these women. You think we don't honor women in here? Women keeps us going. They the legs. If you don't understand that these women in here are glorious women and should be glorified because the work that they do for the Most High, then that's why you're still in the world. Come into the ISUPK. You women who are dragons, come in here and get fixed. Come in here and feel like Mother's Day is every day, because that's how we honor our women in here.
Right.
You understand? Our women in here get flowers and all types of things. We do things for our women in here. Y'all do it for one day out there in the world. Y'all do it for one day. These women in here get honored every single day. You understand? Read the top of that again.
This is Proverbs chapter 31, starting at verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Who can find a virtuous woman?
Who can find a virtuous woman? You understand? Go ahead.
For her price is far above rubies.
For her price is far above rubies. You know what rubies is. Diamonds, rubies. These are some of the most expensive things that the earth provides. Yet the Bible is saying a virtuous woman is above all of that. It's far above. It don't just say above. It says far above. Like you knock them out the park. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 11. The heart of her husband doeth safely trust in her.
The heart of her husband safely trust in her. What is your heart? Your heart is your mind. Her husband don't have no worries. When you have a virtuous woman that's in your household, you don't have no worries. You ain't got to worry about nothing. She's going to make sure that she got your back. She's going to make sure that she holds you down. You know how the girls in the world say, I'm going to hold you down? The women in the UPK hold their men down. That's what we're good for in here. Our women are good for in here. Holding their men down and looking glorious every time they step foot in the world. They light shine.
That's right.
They light shine in the world because people see them and they say, well, why ain't she angry like I'm angry? Because the Lord favors her.
Right.
You understand? She has the spirit of Christ and brotherhood / sisterhood on her. Go ahead. You have something?
Oh no.
Go ahead.
So that he shall have no need of spoil.
So he don't have no need to spoil. He don't have no need to you know what I'm saying, throw away. When something is spoiled, what happens? You just throw it away because they're no good to you. You get some spoiled eggs, you throw it away. He don't need for her to be a spoil because he wants to keep something that's good. Men only want to throw away something that's bad. That ain't no good for them. Go ahead, keep going.
Verse 12, she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life.
She will do him good, not evil, all the days of her life. And why does it say all the days of her life? Because love in marriage is about enduring until the end. The same person you were when y'all got together, of course, a lot of things gonna change in life, but you have to endure through the end. A virtuous woman will endure through the end. She won't switch up on you. She won't change up on you when things are going bad. When she feel like, you know, you ain't as muscle bound as you was when she first got you, she ain't gonna just throw you away. She ain't gonna go and have sex with another man. When the kids is tiring her out, she ain't gonna get mad at you and leave the household and go with her friends to go talk to other men. A virtuous woman endures in love. That's it. That's a virtuous woman. Go ahead, keep going.
Verse 13, she seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands.
She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands, which means she works. She does work. She'll go do what she needs to do. She'll go work her part. Go ahead, keep going.
She riseth also, verse 15, she riseth also while in yet night and giveth.
You skip, go back up to 14.
Verse 14, she's in the merchant ships. She bringeth.
Start that over again.
Salakia, verse 14, she is like the merchant's ships.
Right.
She bringeth her food from afar.
She is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar, which means she got her own to bring to the table. She got her own to bring to the table. It ain't like, you know, she's making you just go and do all the work and bring everything home, and she's not gonna do anything. She's like a merchant ship. She has things that she can bring home to support the family, just like you have things you can bring home to support the family. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 15, she riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household and a portion to her maidens.
So she rises up while it's yet night. Just think about this. It's your woman. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. They ain't yet turned light outside. And she's up making you food because in preparation for you to be able to go out there and go to work. She's making you some breakfast. You about to wake up. You about to have some pancakes. You know what I'm saying? Some eggs, some turkey sausage. The kids is about to be fed. She's up early in the morning for her husband. This type of woman right here, she don't get thrown away. A man thinks twice before he even pisses her off because he don't want to lose somebody who's this kind, who is this virtuous to their man. Go ahead.
Verse 16, she considereth a field and buyeth it with the fruit of her hands. She planteth a vineyard.
You can get off that and take me to Salakia. Let me get that though. Here's what I want you to know. You know, in ISUPK, these women, these wives in the ISUPK, they the ones who should be honored. Yesterday, they sacrificed the world's day of honoring mothers, and they stayed at home. They watched TV. They did whatever the hell they wanted to do except for celebrate Mother's Day because they knew that it was in vain. It was a vow holiday. Today, and for the rest of the 364 days in this year, we're going to celebrate our sisters in this school, our mothers. We don't do it when the world tells us to do it. We do it because Christ told us to be a brother to our brother and a brother to our sisters. So we honor our brothers and sisters daily. We don't honor them on one day. We'll let the world take care of that. Here's the even worse part about it. The sisters in the world has the highest rate of abortions there is. You honoring mothers, but half of these women done killed 2 or 3 babies before they even became a mama, or 2 or 3 babies after, so they husbands wouldn't know they was cheating on them. You understand? Go ahead.
Like, I got an article on that, which you was just bringing out right there.
Yeah, go ahead, bring that out.
Let me get back to it. So it's axsquareultraviolet.org. It say this Mother's Day, moms share their abortion stories. And then it says, this Mother's Day, it's time to recognize and celebrate moms who have, let me start there from the beginning.
Go ahead.
This Mother's Day, it's time to recognize and celebrate moms who have had abortions. 59% of the women who choose abortions already have 1 or more children.
Good night. Good night. This is what I was just talking about. Half of these women as mothers done killed their babies. They've killed them. This here, how many percent have had babies prior to killing babies?
59%.
Almost
over half.
Over half, 60% of women that have babies already has killed babies after having babies. And your vow but believe that you should be recognized and honored for Mother's Day, when you've been a horrible mother to 2 or 3 kids that you put to death. Man, get out of here. That's why the world destroys us. They destroy us because they make us believe that even in our destruction of our own selves, we still should be honored. Every single holiday is a destruction of blacks and Hispanics. And what they get you to do, they get you to support your own destruction, man. Thanksgiving, supporting your own destruction. Why yet they sit over here and bask in glory because of the defeat. Because to them it's a war. It was a war with the Native American Indians. It was a war with black people. It was a war with Hispanics. And now look, they get to bask in their glory and watch us celebrate the same victory over their victory over us in destruction. Slocky, it's more on that.
I got a couple, just the beginning of a couple stories that some of the women was bringing out. This one is, her name is Akima. She's 54, so she's telling us a story about which later on in her life. I had an abortion because I was single and already had 2 children. I had just gotten a good paying job with health benefits. I wanted to give my family a fighting chance, and having another baby would have erased all the progress I have made. I wanted to go forward instead of backwards for the sake of the children I already had.
Wow. Good night. For the sake of her career and having an opportunity to be maybe less in advantage with another child, she would have been less in advantage. She decided to kill her baby for the opportunity of employment. Now, let that sink in. Let that sink in that as much as women say that they love their kids, as much as they do, since we've been in slavery, all the oppressor have tried to do is get you to hate your kids. And how does the oppressor do that? First, he snatched your kids away from you. They snatched suckling babies and sent them to other plantations. So then after a while, your mentality is, I can live without them. After a while this is the norm. Then you fast forward to 400 plus years, and now we're willing to let them snatch our babies from us. How don't you understand that that's being brainwashed? They've brainwashed our women to believe that as long as it's a fetus, it's not alive. But the oppressor go all the way up to the moon and find one microorganism up in the moon and say that there's life on that planet. But you don't know that there's life in your womb when you have that fetus in your womb. You understand? We got to wake up, sis. There's many women that should be honored, but those women all lives right here in the Isupk under Commander General Yohana. And you know why? Because they had to learn how to not be selfish.
Right.
They learn how that sometimes you might have to give up your career so you can make sure your kids is good. Our women get pregnant in here. The Bible says, be fruitful and multiply the earth. So our women get pregnant in here. If they got a job, they deal with it. If they can't deal with it, then guess what they do? They leave the job. Our kids is the most important thing that we have in here. And it's a gift from the Lord, man. And once y'all start realizing that our kids and our children is a gift from the Lord, then you'll start treating these kids better. They're not just something that you should be able to just throw away. That's what we literally doing that, blacks and Hispanics. We throwing our children away before we even get a chance to see their face. And it gives us a little bit more rest because at least we don't look them in their eyes before we kill them. Just think about that. Just think about what you're missing out on. You might have the greatest author, the greatest professor, the greatest scientist in your womb. And for you to throw that away is a slap in the face to the Most High because he's the one that gave you that gift. You understand? You got any more on that?
Yeah, it's the last one. Gloria, she's 53 years old. She also told a story. When I first became pregnant, I knew nothing about being a mother. The father suffered from mental illness and a drug addiction. Due to these circumstances, I was not spiritually and mentally ready to commit myself to motherhood the same way my mother did with me, providing unconditional love and complete sacrifice.
So she said, and just correct me if I'm wrong, she's saying because the father was a drug addict, you know what I'm saying? So she pretty much based how she was. If you could just break that down for me a little bit.
The father was suffering from mental illness and had drug addiction, which sometimes, you know, when people say stuff like this, he wasn't too mentally ill or drug addicted to have sex with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, some of these stories are so funny. You hear them and they say, "Oh, well, I was in an abusive relationship," and it wasn't that abusive when he was tearing that box up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
He wasn't mentally ill and a drug addict when he was tearing up that box.
Yeah, right.
But soon as the seed get laid, now you say, "Oh, I ain't spiritually ready for it." That's because you not only is you weak, but you with a weak man. You know what I'm saying? That allow you as a woman to murder his kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a bunch of blacks and Hispanic women to murder kids at the sum of $300,000 to $400,000 a year. So
you know what's even heavier, what you bringing out is, you know, this morning I was watching a video. Of course, everybody know about what's happening with Kevin Samuels and, you know, him dying from, you know, so-called cardiac arrest or whatever. So I was watching the video, him talking to a woman, and he said to her, he said, why did you divorce your husband? No, she said, why didn't you marry your baby daddy? And she was like, because I don't think he was meritable for me. He said, so he was a good enough person for you to have a baby with, but not a good enough person for you to marry. Like, yeah, we was on different terms. We were like, as if they don't understand that the ultimate present of you being with somebody and gift of you being with somebody is the baby. Once you reach that, because in the Bible, sex is marriage, but once you reach the baby, the Lord has gave you a gift with your marriage. You are already married. The sister is she's so destroyed that she thinks that the sex, her having sex and having this baby was something that she should be praising without recognizing that man was her husband. You see how destroyed we is today, Israel? The most precious thing that you have as a woman is that box. And believe me, every man knows, because every man, he would try his best to get some of that box. It takes a virtuous woman to preserve that box from one man so he can, have integrity in the woman that he walks around with. Of course, we've been in slavery for 400 plus years, so it's not too many women who has a preserved box. But I will tell you this: if you come into the Isupk and Command in Junior Hana, and in this Bible it says once you come in here and you cleanse yourself, then the Lord is going to recognize you as a virgin, and that first man that you marry, that's going to be your husband, and that marriage is going to be glorified by the Most High.
Right.
Not this marriage in the world. Don't no white man have to put nothing down on a piece of paper to say that I said yes I do, when I've already taken, or she's already given me the most glorious thing that the Lord could provide to me, which is a box that can reproduce my baby, that can reproduce my lineage and my bloodline. What's more important than that? Nothing's more important in this world than preserving your nation and preserving your line and your bloodline on this earth. Ask the oppressor. The oppressor know. They wish they could have babies like us. They wish they could have babies like blacks. Good night, Hispanics. One dripping and you might get an octuplet. That's how much the Lord has given us the specialty of birthing kids and babies. And because he's given us that, you think you would just throw your damn baby away. Because you can have babies like that, you think that that gift is given to you for you to throw that gift away. And this is why the Most High ain't with us today. I don't know if you understand this, sis, but that's murder. That's absolute murder. You don't believe me? If you could, Baba Kashab, go to Exodus 20 and 13. That's murder. You understand? The Lord didn't give you these gifts of having a baby to sit here and destroy, not only destroy the baby, but destroy yourself. Do you know what that does to your insides? You killing that baby actually begins the process of you having cancer, breast cancer, and ovarian cancer, and all types of cancers to your sexual parts, because the Lord never meant for you to get put something stuck up in you and for you to flush a baby out of it. You understand? You got that? If you could.
Exodus 20 and 13.
Yeah, cons.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 13. Mm-hmm. Thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt not what?
Kill.
Thou shalt not what?
Kill.
Thou shalt not kill. This is right here a law that the Most High has given. And he said, thou shalt not kill. You don't believe that you pulling a living thing outside of your body because you don't want it no more ain't murder? When God says thou shalt not kill, that means thou shalt not murder. That's an unjustified killing, is when you murder somebody. That baby has no reason to be killed. He didn't do anything. That baby didn't do anything to deserve the punishment of death by you. Now, if the Lord want to take him, everything is justified through the Most High. But nothing tells you to kill a baby, a fetus that's sitting inside of you waiting to become a blossom flower. Not one thing. The Bible says this, read.
Thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt not kill. Meaning you shouldn't kill. You understand? And we have over 330,000 abortions a year. Because you killing your own baby. Because you can't take responsibility for being a hoe. Because you can't take responsibility and tell your job, I can't do this no more because I'm pregnant. Because you don't love your kid more than you love your own damn job. And that's not virtuous, man. And you want to be represented on Mother's Day? You got 2 kids who you let live, but you got 2 kids that you killed. How does that make you a good mama, man? When somebody please explain this to me. brother just brought out, it was 60%. 60% of women who had kids already have aborted their babies. 60%, that's over half of the women.
That's right.
And that's why we destroyed today. Believe me, the demographics will surely show that in our favor of us being the highest rate of abortions, Blacks, Hispanics, and North American Indians. Why? Because we're the only ones who need to feel like we have a way to keep going. If we get another kid, then it's gonna stop us from getting this job or this. We probably the biggest cheaters on earth. Our women. Because they gotta play get backs with their men. So he cheated on me, so I'm gonna go cheat on him. I saw a meme that said, "Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't spill in me because I got a husband at home." Like, what? Like, how wicked are you, man? How wicked that you would go out and get drunk and high and go and be with another man and say, make sure you don't spill in me because I got a husband at home and I don't need to get pregnant. And you know what's going to happen next, right? He's going to spill in you. You're going to get pregnant. And guess what you're going to do? You're going to throw your baby in the garbage because you was a whore, because you had no discipline. You understand? If you could, can you give me Psalms 127:3? Yeah, let me get that with you too.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 127, verse 3. Lo, children are an heritage of the Lord.
This says, lo, children are the inheritance of the Lord. This is something that the Lord gives you. Just like if the Lord said, I'm going to give you the kingdom, that's an inheritance. Everybody wants the kingdom, but you don't want something as small to you, but as big to the Lord as your child. It says, lo, your children is your inheritance from the Lord. Read.
And the fruit of the womb is his reward.
And the fruit of the womb is his reward. What is the fruit of the womb? When a man lays with a woman, he puts a seed inside of that woman. That seed starts to blossom into a fruit. Just like anything else on earth. You put a seed inside of the dirt starts to block the dirt, incubates that seed. It gives it all the nourishments it needs to become what his father was. You understand? Read. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Salaki, if I may. That's heavy because, like it say, the fruit of the womb. The fruit of the womb is his reward. Like the Lord is giving you the reward to bear children. You got women in the Bible who, like Sarah, who's trying to bear children, and she was like, "Man, I bet what's going on? The Lord ain't with me." You got women that can bear children. The Lord's giving them this reward, and they go kill the reward. Like you love the Lord. You go to church. You know what I'm saying? Every Easter, you know what I'm saying, with your short dress on and your red bottoms. And you say you love the Lord, and as soon as you have a baby, you kill the reward that the Lord gives you.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And that's like you giving your son or your daughter a puppy. As soon as you get the puppy, she cut the neck of it off. And you be like, right. Man, I spent my last $1,500 on this dog, and she just killed him. You know what I'm saying? Like women just they love to say they love the Lord, they love God, do all this, but they do every single thing outside of, you know what I'm saying, impressing the Most High, you know what I'm saying, by keeping children, you know what I'm saying, by keeping the reward that the Lord gave them. So,
and it's heavy what you bringing out the water for that, because that just made me remember what I was thinking about. Most women that have children that has that mentality of, well, I have a career, I have this, I have that. Those same women, I guarantee you that they were raised by mothers who were just as selfish as they were.
That's right.
And some of those women need to realize you better be thankful to the Most High that they didn't abort your ass. Slakia. Right. You better be lucky they didn't abort you. Because that same selfishness that you have, it came from somebody. This ain't something that just sprung up. It came from two things. Your mama was a whore or she was selfish. One of the two. Because any mother in a right mind would not let their daughter abort a baby. Any right mother in their mind will not say get rid of somebody that's so innocent that the Lord has given you. The Lord has given you an inheritance. What does it mean by giving you an inheritance? It means he's giving you somebody that's going to carry your legacy down from generation to generation, where it won't stop at you. Are you silly? Do you want to destroy yourself? You want to kill your own legacy by killing your babies. If I have 13 kids, I'm happy with it because I got 13 ways for my legacy to keep going. And if one die, I got 12. If two die, I got 11. The more the Lord is telling you that he's making sure that what you're given through him as an inheritance, it's your shine in life all the way after you die and beyond. You also got to understand that there's such thing as reincarnation. Your seed is going to be the lineage that you are going to come back in later on in life. Your son is going to have a son and a son and a son. And somewhere in that process, Lord willing, you're going to come back. So why kill that? Why kill your potential father? If you don't look at it like that, but think about it. Your potential father could be your son. Your potential grandfather could be your son, or great-grandfather could be your son. Why would you kill your son? That's how reincarnation works. You understand? You had any more on that?
Verse 4. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth.
As arrows is in the hand of a mighty man, so is the children in their youth. You know why? Because your child is a weapon.
That's right.
You know why they're a weapon? Because as you get old, who's going to protect you? Who's going to make sure that everything that you've produced in this earth to be an inheritance to them has protection? Who's going to make sure don't nobody run in and just shoot you in the head? And I'm talking today's time, but you got to think about even in biblical times, those brothers had crops. They had towns. They had areas where they had authority over. When you get old, your children takes on that responsibility. You understand? Your children takes on the responsibility of the father. So that's why I said that your children is your arrows. They are your might. They are your weapon. They are the way that make sure that nobody else can come in and destroy your legacy.
That's right.
You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 5. Happy is the man that hath his quivers full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate. And that's exactly like if I may. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what you just brought out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That blessed is happy is the man whose quivers are full. Mm-hmm. You got a full thing of arrows, but like you just said, if I had 13 kids, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying?
Why would you want? Why, Salakia, not to cut you off, but why have 6 arrows when I can have 13?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I could have, you even think about it today's time. We looking for the biggest clip, ain't we? Mm-hmm. I want a 50-round drum. This is what the Bible is saying. Your children are like to you. They like a 50-round drum. If I could have 50 rounds in my drum, if I could have 50 kids, guess what will happen? You're going to be broke, but you won't. I'll tell you why you won't be broke. Because you have 100 hands with 50 kids. 100. You have 100 feet and 100 legs with 50 kids. You want to know why the Jackson 5 became so prominent? Because the Jackson 5 had 10 hands and 10 feet. And they clapped and they danced. And they made Joe some good money. And Kathy some good money.
Like if I may, one of them came. He had 5. I mean, he had bunch of kids, but and one of them was gonna come out on top,
Right.
And which would happen, and that just goes along with what you were saying. Hey, have as many kids you want. Don't think they're gonna be a hindrance to you. Yeah, you're gonna struggle. Everybody, you're gonna struggle with one kid. You know, you're gonna struggle with 5, but you're gonna get through it. Just understand that the Lord put. You got to think about it. The blacks and Hispanics are the salt of the earth.
Damn right.
You're salt of the earth.
Damn right.
So you had 13 kids. Hey, you gonna have that season gonna come somewhere. You gonna have one of those kids that's gonna come out as a great player, football player, a great brother in the UPK, a great general in the UPK, a great captain. You know, you gonna have one of those kids that's gonna come out like that because that's the Lord gave you that reward and you receive the reward with righteousness. You know
and also it's inevitable. It's inevitable that that if you have 10 kids, that at least 3 of them is gonna come out to be something. I don't care what hood you came from. Venus and Serena came from Crenshaw, came from Inglewood. No, it wasn't Inglewood, it was Compton.
Yeah, Compton.
They came from Compton, California, Venus and Serena. Derrick Rose came from the heart of the south side of Chicago. And look what happens when pressure is applied to blacks and Hispanics. Look at what happens. We come out to be greater than we ever thought we can be because our adversity and oppression, like the Bible says, makes a wise man mad, and it makes you want to get out of the oppression. So it makes you look for ways to get out of the oppression. Hell, Derrick Rose had to choose basketball. Serena and Venus had to choose tennis. Tiger Woods, he probably wasn't in the hood, but I'm pretty sure over the years he was in every golf camp, and it was nothing but white boys there, and it pissed them off because they was like, he's black, he can't really shoot golf, and it probably pissed him off so much that now he's the greatest golf player that ever lived. You understand? A lot of people don't know that Scottie Pippen came from Arkansas. He was in the deep south of Arkansas. And he had brothers and sisters, but he didn't have the glitz and glamour. He was in a poor town. And what ended up happening was the chip on his shoulder made him stand up for himself, his family, and later on his people. So you got to understand, blacks and Hispanics, man, we are the salt of the earth. Stop killing the salt of the earth. Stop killing your babies. These children can be men that's sitting in this school willing and ready to perform their duty in securing their nation. And the reason that we don't have these seats filled up right now is because we have 360,000 abortions a year. Can you think if those 360,000 abortions didn't happen, how many chairs would be filled up in this school? Hell, we just saw Passover. You saw how many people was at Passover? Think 360,000 more kids could be at that Passover. But because some women believe that their selfish ways means more to them, now we sit here with, like I said, 360,000 abortions a year. And to me, it makes my heart cry. Boy, if you got anything else on that, if you could.
No, I believe that was it for the Psalm 27. We hit 5.
Yeah. Can you give me Isaiah 49-15?
It's the book of Isaiah. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 49, verse 15. Can a woman forget her sucking child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb?
Now, this even today is even talking about the negligence of women towards their children. This same child suckled you. This same child cried to you and begged you for everything. I have a son that's 2 years old right now, and my biggest pet peeve, and I won't lie about it, is that my son always cries to his mama. He always cries to her. He don't even want nothing. He just wants her to pick him up That's a pet peeve of mine. You understand? This is saying that this same child that was suckling onto you, you forget about him. You know, and I see it so many times where, you know, these young mothers who have teenagers and stuff like 16 years old and a teenager out till 2 o'clock in the morning. When you know in the hearts of Chicago, your kid is gonna die at 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. in the morning if your kid goes outside. You have mothers that allow their daughters to wear things that is unapproved by God, but definitely shouldn't be worn in the streets. These short dresses and these pants with thigh meat hanging out and all that, but you allow them to do it. And here's the problem. Because there's no man in the household, there's no man to secure this household, then these women are stuck with a decision. And the decision that they have to make is based on how they feel. You got to realize what each and every one of these women wanted to do when they was teenagers. They wanted to wear makeup. They wanted to wear the small skirt.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to wear the halter top, but their mama wouldn't let them. So their ideology of why they should be able to do it is now released to their kids. Well, let's just let her do it because that's just the style. That's whose style? That's the style of whores. Whores is the ones that is the image of the world right now. And you think that you're being a good mom by letting your woman, letting your baby, your daughter be a whore with the rest of the whores of the earth? Make that make sense to me. It doesn't. You understand? You have something for me?
Come.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Come on, I got it. That she should not have compassion on the son of her womb. Mm-hmm. Yea.
Hold on.
Start
that from the top.
Come. Isaiah 49, verse 15. Can a woman forget her sucking child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb?
This is a question that's being asked. Just like we ask the same question to the women in the world. You understand? Can a woman forget that the child that she allowed to, she allowed herself to raise, the child that she allowed to suck on her to get nourishment, but not have compassion for that same child? Go ahead, read.
Okay. Yea, they may forget, yet will I not forget thee.
That's the Most High. So for all you women that's aborting your babies, that's not raising your babies right because you want to kick the father out of the household because you got an issue with him, the Most High said, what?
Don't come. Yea, they may forget, yet will I not forget thee.
He said, but yet, he ain't going to forget you. Why you forget them? Why you forget them little babies? Why you forget your son and your daughter? Why you put your pride above raising your children? Why you put your pride above having your husband in the household? Because the man want to have another wife? Why you put your pride to that pedestal? The Lord said he ain't going to forget you, though. You think you won. You women in the world, you make me sick. I don't see how I ever even wanted to be with a woman in the world. I don't even see. Because knowing who I am today and knowing righteous, virtuous women that's in this school that don't tolerate that bull crap, a woman in the world she's subpar. She's just mediocre. She's not rubies. She's silver.
Cubic zirconias.
Cubic Most High Christ. She's cubic zirconias. She's not rubies. I don't want a cubic zirconia. I want a ruby. The only way I'm gonna get a ruby is by dealing with women in here.
That's right.
These women are rubies and gems. Any color you would ever want to see. Slock it. Go ahead. Keep going.
God. You want to go into 16?
No, nope. Don't even do that. Go ahead to Lamentations 4 and 3.
Come.
You women in the world, man, y'all, like, I was in the world for a lot more years than I was in the truth. So believe me, I have the experience. But now that I sit back and think on what you women really are, you're monsters to yourself. You're monsters to your husband. You're monsters to your kids. That's what you are. And then you wonder why you can't get a husband. Why nobody wants to marry you. You're toxic. You're toxic like your mother was. You're toxic like your grandma was. And then you're going to carry on a legacy of toxicity. That's what you're going to do. Instead of changing who you are for the better of your bloodline, for the better of your nation. Maybe, just think about this, just maybe, you being kind to your husband may stop him from wanting another woman. Just maybe. Theoretically speaking. Just think maybe, just maybe, you not always beat him down when something goes wrong stops your husband from not wanting to come home and go to the bar and find a bartender who is treating him nicer than his wife can ever treat him. And then he finds somebody else who he has affection for. Just maybe. Just think about it. Just think about it. Go ahead. Read what you got, man.
Come. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 3. Even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones.
It says even the sea monsters. This is talking about whales, and this talking about sharks, dolphins, sea monsters. We're talking about animals now. You know, we ain't talking about y'all. We ain't talking about land monsters. We talking about sea monsters right now. We're going to get on land monsters. Go ahead, read.
So like, if I may, and that's heavy. The beginning of the scripture, what it's bringing down as well, if I may, sir.
Go ahead.
It say even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. Like, it said even what we call sea monsters don't even abort their kids.
My point.
You know, so like,
no, go ahead.
And even they don't, subject to, like they will even die for their own young. Like, that's a sea monster. That's somebody you jump in the water, everybody's scared of. He gonna eat up every human in sea. But when it comes to them babies, they treat their babies as if, like he said in the other verse, as a heritage, as something that's even a reward to them. And they don't even have the sense that we have, and they understand that a baby is something that's born from them is a reward from the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So,
damn right. If you ever looked at National Geographic and ever looked at those the film of any type of mother that was birthing, I don't care if it's a impala, if it's a cheetah, if it's something like that. Those babies is their main priority.
That's right.
If something is coming against them that's mightier than them, they're gonna die for those babies.
Exactly.
And those are animals. Those are beasts. Those are beasts of the field. You're treating your kids less than the beast of the field treats theirs. Let that soak in. They would die for their kids, but yet you'll kill your kids for you to be a little bit more successful. Wake up, Israel, man. You gotta understand that, we've been destroyed. And the only way to get out of this is to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. But you got to be willing to not be selfish. You can't be selfish and want what you want. You can't let good feelings be the pushing point for you to do certain things. Of course, women are emotional creatures. We know that. Y'all know that. But at the same time, you can never allow your riches, which is your children. Your child is your riches, get taken away because you feel like you can get rich off the world. Be rich in heritage, in culture, and not in the world. You understand? Go ahead, give me what you got, if you could, Baba.
Lamentation chapter 4 and verse 3, right in the middle. The daughter of my people is become cruel, like the ostrich in the wilderness.
It says the daughter of my people is become cruel like the ostrich in the wilderness. Have you ever seen? I don't know if you ever seen the ostrich. The ostrich is a pretty cruel bird. If you go anywhere near him, he will pluck your eyes out. He's he's probably the fastest bird on land. And if you ever encounter one, please, I pray that you find some shelter, because if it's a running thing, he's gonna catch you and find you. He's gonna beat you down. Go ahead.
For verse 4, the tongue of the sucking child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth for thirst.
Which means you're gonna stop caring for this baby naturally. And this is the craziest part of this verse, because it says that, you know, the roof of this suckling baby's mouth is gonna cleave to his the roof of his mouth. His tongue gonna cleave to the roof of his mouth from thirst, because naturally you're not gonna want to provide for your baby no more. And this is exactly what Officer 500 Maramoan was saying, that because you have a job or something that you having a baby may interfere with, you choose the job over the baby. You'll just say forget the baby. Now it's natural to Blacks and Hispanic women to just say forget the baby, to say I don't want him no more, to say I don't want to be a mother. It's natural, just as natural as your breast drying up when your baby can't get anything from it. Go ahead.
Come on. The young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them.
The young children ask bread. They try to make sure that they're able to survive, and ain't no man gonna break bread with them. You remember the days of old when the gangsters on the block, they'll make sure they take in the kids.
That's right.
The days of old, the block took care of the kids, the neighborhood took care of the kids. Look at today. Today, they don't care about the kids. They ain't gonna break bread with the kids. They ain't gonna make sure the kids is good. That's what this scripture is reading on. Go ahead, keep going. Where you at right now?
5.
You at the end, right?
I'm done with 4. I'm 5.
No, that's it on that. Give me my bad. Give me Isaiah 44:24.
Come. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 44. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 44, verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
Thus saith the Lord,
Go ahead.
thy Redeemer,
Mm-hmm.
and he that formed thee from the womb.
Mm-hmm.
I am the Lord that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone.
Mm-hmm.
Alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself.
Go ahead.
Come, verse 25. That frustrateth the token of the liars, and maketh diviners mad.
And with this scripture right here alone, he's telling you about his creation and us with our creation. And of course it's gonna be times where we create things that's not in the spirit of what we want it to be. Even the Lord had to be selfless. He made a group of people into his very own. And you see how rebellious we is. You see how non-deserving we are of being a part of the Lord's family. But yet he still chooses us. You understand? And one of the things that I really love about the Most High is, he had like with me, 36 years to kill me. He had 36 years to abort his baby. And yet and still, I'm still here.
Right.
You understand? You see how long he put up with his son and all of his sons that's in the Isupk and all his sons that's in the world and daughters that's in the world. He put up with us for a numerous amount of years. Gave us a chance to prove ourselves. But yet and still, we should be saying Happy Mother's Day to a monster who wouldn't even give her child a chance to prove himself in the world. This is what we cherish now. This is what we care about. We care about making somebody happy, even though they don't deserve the happiness. They deserve to be chastised. They deserve to be put, in the lowest part of shame that you can ever be put in. Because you chose to get rid of something that was so precious that the Lord has given you. You understand? Give me Jeremiah 1:5.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5.
Let me get that with you so I can. Go ahead. Start at 4.
Come. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 4. Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out the womb, I sanctified thee.
So this is the Lord, and this is Jeremiah speaking, but this is the Lord came to him. And this is the Lord saying to him that before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. Before your formation was there, I knew you. And then he said, before you came as forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. So I already have blessed you. This is what you women got to realize. And I pray you understand this while you're listening. Those fetuses in your body, the Lord already knows that fetus. He does. He has a goal for it. He has a reason for that fetus being inside of you. And when you destroy a fetus that the Lord has put in you for a reason, it causes more and more destruction onto your people and onto your nation and onto yourself.
That's right.
Any woman who has had an abortion, you know the mental and the psychological pain that you had to deal with getting rid of this baby.
That's right.
You understand? Stop letting that man tell you got to get rid of this damn baby, man. Stop letting that man tell you got to get rid of the baby. I'm going to tell you something. If he's a coward, let him be a coward on his own. Let me tell you this. If he's not going to be a man, ruin his life. Keep the baby. If he doesn't want to be a man and he wants to play the game, ruin his life and have the baby. Don't get rid of it. Let him be the coward. Let him hide behind it. But you don't put yourself in sin, sis. Don't put yourself in sin. Because that same son that you have or that you got rid of, he can be Jeremiah.
That's right.
He can be somebody that the Lord knew in your womb. And before he came out of your womb, the Lord sanctified and blessed to be a leader of this nation. You understand? Go ahead.
Okay. And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
That's what I just said. You understand? The Lord ordained Jeremiah as a prophet of the nations before he even came out of the womb. When he was in the womb, while he was forming. It says before I formed. It says before I formed. This was before he even put the noodle in coconut. This is when they first had sex and the sperm went in the egg. before the sperm started to form into a person, the Lord had already knew what he was putting inside of that egg.
Right.
You want to know why he got 500 million sperms that's looking for one egg? Because the Lord gonna route one sperm to that egg, because he knows what he wants to go into. He already knows it. And he ordains some people to be prophets that does make it. And thank you to Commander Jeremy Yohana that the ISUPK is here, because I'm looking at all of these brothers in the ISUPK that has been ordained in the womb.
That's right.
You understand?
Yeah, I'm right.
Go ahead, keep reading.
Come God. Verse 6. Then said I, our Lord God, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child.
Read 7.
Verse 7. But the Lord said unto me, say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak.
And this is the heaviest. This is one of the heaviest parts of it, because Jeremiah was a child at the time that he realized that the Lord had sanctified him, and he was scared. He was scared to go say what he had to say. But what the Lord said was, don't be afraid. Whatever I ordered you to do, to say, just go say it. And I've read Jeremiah, and which was an excellent book, because Jeremiah was a kid when he realized that the Lord had favor on him and the Lord was using him. And when Jeremiah was timid at first, really timid. And when he got older, he became a mighty man.
That's right.
You understand? So, take you brothers who scared to speak and to say how you feel, and to, go out on the streets and go and teach a class and all that. Realize something. Right now, you're in your babe stage. Just like Christ, just like Jeremiah, just like multiple prophets in the Bible, those brothers started young. Some of you niggas 50 years old, and you still can't talk in front of a camera. Have your wits. Have some dominance about yourself to say, I don't care about that camera. It's just me and the Lord. Do the work of the Lord. Act like you in the interview with the Lord when you out here, man. And you will see a whole different part of yourself. You understand? If you could give me no, give me Exodus. No, yeah, 1:15.
Shalom Khan.
And I just want you. So what I want you to realize is this agenda has been pushed on us. From the beginning of the time. It happened in Egypt. It happened in Rome. It's happening today in modern day Babylon, or the daughter of Babylon, which they call it. The whole abortion thing, and using mothers to kill off our legacy and our nation. It's one of the heaviest tactics that the oppressor could ever use. They've learned this through history. That's why the story of what happened in Egypt and what happened in these other areas is so important for the oppressor to have. You wonder why they keep this if it benefits us when we actually know what it means. But to them, they're learning off what happened in the past to keep us captive. This is what they use. So go ahead if you could.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Sapphira, and the name of the other was Puah. Verse 16. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
So this is the king telling these Hebrew midwives. Of course, the Hebrew midwives was the ones that were raising these babies after they were born. And the king was telling these midwives, if it's a son, then you got to kill him right away. You know what I'm saying? But if it's a daughter, then you can keep the daughter. Why? Because we all know that the seed comes from the male.
Right.
So, of course, the king knew this as well, that the seed comes from the male. You would wash out the Hebrews if you got rid of all the sons and kept the daughters, because then other nations would then contaminate your women, and you would pretty much just wash out. Go ahead.
It's a lot here. That's heavy what you're bringing out, especially with the scripture. That's why a lot of Egyptology, Kemet, you know what I'm saying, brothers, they always try to denounce the book of Exodus or denounce Moses and all that. They hate the story of Moses because of the fact that it tells you that the seed goes through the child so much, or it shows that Egypt even knew that the seed came through the son. You know what I'm saying? And you ever get into some kind of debate with somebody, a Kemetic brother, they don't want to go to Exodus. They don't want to go to Egypt and us being in Moses. I mean, us being in Egypt, because then we could always say, oh well, hey, the Lord slaughtered all the first sons. They are, well, no, they love women real bad.
Yeah.
That's their gods.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You already most of the Egyptologists or Kemetic people that I know, or that Kemetic environment that I know, they all believe that they woman is their God. You understand? Because she can carry a baby in her womb. I don't know if you realize this, but you carry a baby in your nuts for a long time, longer time than she carried in her womb. I don't know how that makes her a God, because you give her something to carry for 9 months when you carry it all the time. So I mean, look, that's off topic, but I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Mother's Day is something that should not be followed, because we're not even honorable enough for our mothers to be honored as mothers, and if that makes sense. Only because I just told you, 630 abortions a year, 630,000 abortions a year. Somebody should be a person who stands up against that. All these kids getting killed, black on black crime, BDs against GDs. Y'all should be advocates against that. Keep your kids in the house. Tell them to sit their ass down. If you really a good mother, you'll stop letting your kids kill our nation off and destroy us. If you're really a good mother, you'll stop leaving your damn man. If you're really a good mother, you'll stop hating yourself by coming out here and being in all of these clothes that's so revealing, and then wonder why a man don't want you unless you're drunk and he can put his rod in. If you're a really good mother and a really good woman, come to the Isupk under Command of Jerry Yohana, and we'll show you how to be a good woman. You understand? With that, that's my time, Israel. I'm passing class over to Precinct Officer Ramawan. Shalom.